If you have a problem, deal with the problem, and you no longer have a problem. The first half of my book was to describe my life from whoa to go. But unfortunately, it never turned out that way. My life was so confused with a lack of social skills and the required knowledge that actually went from go to whoa. There was an underlying lack of empathy from people close to me, which made me adopt the same mirror image response to my life. I admit that I never had the foresight to verbally ask for interaction, but was that my job to do so? After all, I was only a child. The accrued emotional suppression I suffered from my childhood continued through to my adult years. This perpetual merry-go-round of uncertainty affected me immensely to the point where I suffered from sexual incompetence. This led to promiscuity as a means of gaining acceptance from my peers, which in hindsight is absolutely wrong. I wrongly attributed all my problems to being sexually abused as a teen. This included my inability to sexually function properly. This affected me in every relationship I had from my teen years to adulthood. There was no sense of sexual satisfaction to the point that I never orgasmed. This, in turn, infected the interactions I received from my partners. Eventually, they too became sexually deficient or defective. All in all, I wrong-footed myself all my life until just recently. I was devastated on a personal level. I struggled to function as a normal human being, and I'm not even talking about sexually. As a person, I struggled to slot into anything normal. This was accentuated by my inability to understand the mechanics of being normal. So I developed a tough cookie attitude. If I couldn't be normal, I would try to be super normal. To achieve this, I adopted a male psyche in my drive to be competitive. Much later in my life, I had an epiphany that I would discover the answer and share it with everyone who suffered like I did. Therefore, I undertook a quest to learn as much as I could about my problem. Eventually, I was lucky enough to meet a person who had figured this out. I initially resisted this knowledge as it challenged every remedy I had learned in the last 20 years. But when I reluctantly tried this technique, it solved my client's problem in a couple of hours. Unbelievable. So I changed tact and learned as much from him as I could. This method suddenly made me understand the problems I had inherited from the earlier part of my life. Now I had the right ammunition. My vision was to share part of this teaching to solve a problem which plagues millions of people worldwide. Unresolved emotions can devastate both individuals and couples. Sex may be known as the glue which holds a relationship together, but resistance and unresolved emotions will just as powerfully tear the relationship apart.